sent out from the Cobb County Police Department confirming that 24-year-old Dion Patterson has been apprehended, has been taken into custody. And as we have been mentioning, Atlanta police will be providing an update in about 10 minutes. And that is where we are hoping to get more information about how this all unfolded.
And we are going to hear from Cody Alcorn right now. We join him now from downtown Atlanta, outside Atlanta Police Headquarters. Cody, this has been a very curious case from the beginning. After all of the violence in Midtown, it then transpons up to Marietta and Smyrna. And finally, at around 8 o'clock tonight, they are able to capture him, apparently alive. And this has certainly had a look of which we have not seen in many years here at Atlanta.
And it's about to get crazier when you hear what I'm about to tell you on what I've been told as far as how he was captured. But first, I do want to let you know this news conference is going to be pushed back a little bit. It was scheduled for 8, but then we got news on the way down here. He was captured in Cobb County. So they're going to have a joint news conference with Cobb County Police and APD. They're on their way back with that suspect right now here to APD headquarters. So we're expecting around maybe 8:20, 8:30. We're going to get let inside around 8:10. But this is what I just got from a source with close connections to this. They say they caught this guy walking around an apartment complex, had on the same outfit that we saw those pictures of, also still armed with a weapon. They said he acted candidly as if nothing had happened today before being caught. Also getting some other unconfirmed by APD. We'll see if they'll confirm this in the news conference we're about to see, but we were calling this a carjacking. But what I'm being told now is that possibly someone left their keys in a vehicle and it was running, is how he possibly got this car so fast after that shooting on the 11th floor of Northside Hospital. So again, what I'm being told as far as this capture, which we'll get that information coming up during this news conference, but unconfirmed, is that he was walking around in the same outfit. We saw that picture of him from the elevator from Northside, and that it was pretty candidly just walking around as if nothing had happened. So it's going to go back to see why he was taken to the hospital this morning in the first place. Was there some type of a mental issue that his mother decided to take him to Northside to get some help today, and then something triggered this suspect, Dion Patterson, causing him to open fire, shooting those 5 innocent women, killing one of them, leaving 3 in critical condition. But again, we have moved from Northside Hospital. I was just there in the last 30 minutes. We're now here outside APD. We just want to give you an update on what we have been hearing from sources as far as the capture. We're going to go back inside here. We are expecting the sergeant to come down and take us to that news conference. But again, the reason why we've come on the air right now outside is because we do expect this to be pushed back some time, because when they called the news conference, we had not heard that Dion Patterson was caught. Now, it's not likely they're going to give us a walk shot. We're going to see him brought down here. But what I'm being told is he will be coming to APD headquarters because, yes, it's been an all-day manhunt for this guy since 12 o'clock, but he's now a homicide suspect. So they will take him into a room, interrogation room, like they do any suspect, and they'll start the interview process, which could go well into the early morning hours, because they want to know why this happened. And of course, if he needs help, they're going to try to get him help. But again, he will be formally charged if he is in fact the suspect who they've been calling suspect all day. He's going to face a homicide or a murder charge, and then at least those 4 aggravated assault charges as well. So we're going to learn a lot of new information. We're going to bring that to you live as soon as the chief walks out. We believe Cobb County will be joining APD to give us an update on the capture and just a timeline and a better understanding of what unfolded here today in Midtown that stretched over near the Battery.
Cody, I have a couple of more questions for you, but I'm going to hold them because I know you've got to run in right now and claim your spot inside of APD. So we're going to go to Dawn White, who is in Midtown right now, and she has some details about what she knows with some of the information that she found leading up to the capture of the suspect.
Well, I'm here at Waterford Place, and a Cobb County police source told me just minutes ago that this is where they found the suspect. That source told me that the search ended down there, this area down there where the pool is and the clubhouse. And I have Chase here, who is a resident who lives nearby, who has been following this throughout the day. So tell me what you heard and what you saw.
We definitely heard all the helicopter commotion, the police cars going back and forth all day from the other apartments to the Battery. And then recently we just heard all the commotion kick up the last 10 minutes, and they took off over here. So we took our little dogs out to go scout, see what's going on, and and they, I believe they have the suspect now. The police officers were high-fiving each other just a second ago, and they're just now making their way out right now. So I think it was a great job, Cobb County Police Department.
So this seems like a pretty quiet area. What's your reaction to something like this happening where you live?
Well, yeah, it's definitely quiet back here. We are close to, the Cobb County Action, the Cobb County Galleria and stuff, but off the side of the road and everything, off Cobb Parkway, off 41, it's definitely unusual. But it is a safe area. I believe, some of the residents probably gave some really good tips as to what was going on over here.
And living here, what is your reaction to the suspect being caught here where you live?
Yeah, I was following this earlier when it happened in Midtown, and I live right here, so the fact that it came all the way back home was very scary, and it kind of puts things in perspective. Anyone can be caught in the middle of something, so very glad, felt safe enough to walk around with my dog because of so much police presence. Just glad Cobb County was able to take care of the job.
Definitely a heavy police presence. I know we saw about 30 police vehicles coming in here. What have you seen, especially when the suspect was apprehended?
Yeah, 30 plus police officers, a lot of Cobb County, Georgia State Patrol, and 3+ helicopters. So there's been a lot of money spent trying to apprehend this guy today, and I'm glad they were able to take care of it. So go Cobb County.
Okay. Well, thanks very much, Chase, for talking with me. So this resident here coming down, walking his dog, and seeing the apprehension take place, and people in this area and throughout Cobb County and throughout the metro area can breathe a sigh of relief.
Hey, Don, can you tell us, A, how far away you are from the Braves Stadium, where the Braves play, so people understand exactly where this complex is? And the second part of this question is, would you describe the parking lot where he was captured? It would appear that it's somewhat hilly, and you go in via a little bit of a maze there to find that parking lot. Is that a correct analysis?
I would definitely say that that's correct, Jeff. And not only is it hilly, but it's very woody. If you take a look over here, you will see all of these woods and then steep hills throughout the area here. And the source tells me that the search was concentrated down in that area where the pool is and where the tennis court is. And I would say we're probably about 2 miles or so from the stadium.
And which side of the stadium? Is that north of the stadium, or where exactly is that in relation to the stadium for people that are familiar with that area by going to the Battery?
I'm not really sure at this point. I know we're about 2 hours away. I feel like we went a little bit north. So this is, definitely an area where 12:30 to now, 7-8 hours, that the suspect could have made it a couple miles within that time period.
Well, we have put up a map here,
very
Don. There we
rural,
go.
remote area.
Yeah. Don White, thank you. We are looking at the map right now, and you can see it is not far away from I-75 there in Cobb County. So I think that really gives you an overview. That's an answer to my question as far as where this condominium complex is in the proximity to the Battery.
And if you're familiar with this area out in Cobb County and Midtown, you can get a sense of exactly how far the suspect had to have allegedly traveled in order to get from the location of this initial shooting out to these various locations in Cobb County. If you're looking at this map on your screen, it marks where the car was found in a parking garage near the Battery, that on Heritage Court near the Windy Ridge area. And then down further away from that is where we understand that suspect was captured, this taking place at the Waterford Place condos. We know our Andrew Wilson has been tracking a little bit more of these details on the location. So Andrew, what can you share with us?
Yeah, Jennifer, you can really see how close this this is. Truist Park right here. So the suspect may have been just kind of hanging out right in this area as we've made our way throughout today. Remember, the last time that he was seen was at 12:30 along Heritage Court, which is kind of right under where you're seeing this police car icon, and then Windy Ridge Parkway. They've had Windy Ridge Parkway closed down all afternoon, and then the suspect likely kind of made his way somewhere through here and somehow made his way up Harridan Avenue, or Harridan Way, excuse me. That's right where John Sherrick has been all day reporting on the police activity in that area, and they had police officers that were actually checking vehicles. We saw in his live shots earlier today showing police officers checking vehicles as they went in and out of some of these apartment complexes. Now, Waterford Place Condominiums is located right here under this police car. This is where they captured the suspect. So he was just kind of hanging out in the roads right out back through here whenever police ended up coming across him. So you can see how close this was. Truist Park, the Battery, this whole area, he kind of just made his way either up this way or kind of made his way back through here. He may have even cut through the woods right there, but police were right on him this whole time. These cameras seem to have played a big role in making sure this suspect was caught. First of all, by showing police where that vehicle was seen last, right there around 12:30, even though police didn't get to seeing that footage until 2:30. And then all afternoon, the suspect was hanging out in this area and police were able to find him just a couple miles away, possibly even, maybe even just a mile or two away from Truist Park in the Battery, right where he was seen last at 12:30. And here we are, even about 8 hours after the shooting, and that's when we finally had this suspect apprehended.
All right, Andrew Wilson, thank you. If you are just joining us again, the suspect has been caught. He has been apprehended by Cobb County. It began around noon today in Midtown, 11th floor, 5 shot, 1 dead, 3 critical, all women, and a massive manhunt. He was able to flee from the 11th floor and find a vehicle. According to our Cody Alcorn, he found that truck with the keys in it outside that was running. It wasn't really a carjacking as much as it was a case of a guy just having an opportunity to get into a vehicle, a truck, and take off down the freeway, which isn't that very, very far from where he was at the point of the shootings this afternoon.
Let's talk about the victims here. Police tell us a 39-year-old woman was killed in this shooting, and we understand all of the other victims are women as well. Police telling us they are 71, 56, 39, and 25 years old. We understand all of those victims who survived were taken to Grady Hospital for treatment, where we understand at least 3 of them were in some sort of serious or critical condition as the crews at Grady Memorial Hospital continue to treat them at this hour.
As far as the motive, we don't know anything about this. We know his mother was in attendance. She was not one of those who was shot. But other than that, we simply do not know why Dion Patterson decided to open fire in Midtown Atlanta around the lunch hour today. We do know from Cody Alcorn as well, who told us that his source had told him that this suspect was apprehended, was captured around 8 o'clock in the parking lot of the condominium complex not far from the Battery. And the suspect was wandering around in the same hoodie, the same outfit that we have seen him in the screen grabs from the surveillance video.
And also still armed.
And still armed. He was clutching a weapon, a pistol, and behaved as though nothing had happened, as though he was not coherent to what had transpired during the course of the afternoon. But that's where we stand right now. It's 19 minutes after 8 o'clock. We are expecting a news conference from the Atlanta Police Department headquarters. Cody Alcorn is there for us tonight, and we expect that momentarily, where APD will have all of the details for us tonight about how he was captured and how everything played out today.
And this is a view from our 11 Alive Sky Tracker over that condominium complex off of Heritage, where this continues to unfold, because even after the suspect has been taken into custody, there's still additional work to do out there. We are expecting that joint news conference from Atlanta and Cobb County Police to begin maybe in the next 10 minutes or so. As Jeff mentioned, our Cody Alcorn is there waiting for that to begin. We're going to break into our coverage and get you that information from police, those updates, as soon as we get them. But we believe this, let's take it right now, or we're seeing right now, is that the suspect?
Right now. Yes.
All right, and you see him in that attire, as we mentioned, that was shown from images that were given to police. You see him being escorted there by law enforcement officials right there, walking very slowly through. And again, Jeff, we are told that this happened without incident. He was just walking in this condominium complex, and according to our, reporting from our Cody Alcorn, act as if nothing had happened.
And we're in the same clothes that he did, the same clothes that we saw during the screen grabs from the surveillance video. That's exactly what he was wearing. And he is walking. I mean, it is a very low-key kind of operation in terms of what we are seeing right now, as opposed to the expectation of not knowing what to expect from
Exactly.
a suspect who has allegedly committed these crimes.
And there's so many questions that remain that are going to be answered hopefully in the next few days and hours as we await new information from Atlanta Police. You see that is an Atlanta Police vehicle there on the scene. We understand that he will be transported to Atlanta Police headquarters where that questioning will resume.
We really don't know a lot about him. We know that he was born in October of 1998. We know he served in the U.S. Coast Guard, and he left the Coast Guard in January of this year. But above and beyond that, we know there was a criminal record in Henry County. It was a marijuana possession, and then he had a couple of probation issues that also is on his record. But above and beyond that, there was any indication of any violence in his background, at least in terms of his criminal record. And again, that issue of what led to all of this, that's simply one of the major questions that we certainly have tonight that we want to ask Atlanta Police if they are able to answer it, or perhaps they are unable to do so, given the fact that he has only been under arrest within the last 25 minutes or so.
And again, we are taking a live look from our 11 Alive Sky Tracker as he has been placed into this Atlanta vehicle, from this Atlanta Police vehicle, where we understand he will be transported to Atlanta Police headquarters. Another question that will be outstanding, Jeff, is what exactly led police to this location? Was there a tip from someone in the community? Right. Was there information from family or friends? What led them to this particular location? We do know there was a $10,000 reward that was out there for his capture and arrest. Billboards out around the community asking for the public's help in locating him so that he could be placed into custody and placed into arrest.
And we were the first to be able to show you these images, these live pictures from Cobb County outside this condominium complex where Dion Patterson was apprehended about 26 and a half minutes ago. And among the questions I think that we will have for Atlanta Police is, where was he over the last 7.5 hours? Was he in this complex? Was he milling about? Was he wandering about in the parking lot with the weapon exposed, as Cody Alcorn's source told him? Where was he killing all of that time? Where was he spending all of that time, so to speak, that law enforcement was unable to find him?
That's right, because the information that we have from Cobb County Police earlier in the evening, just a couple of hours ago, is that 12:30 was the last spotting of him on a GDOT camera. 12:30, but it wasn't until a couple of hours later at 2:30 that Cobb County Police actually became aware of that spotting on that camera. So in all of that time, Jeff, what has been transpiring? What has been going on? Where has he been? Was he at other locations? We know Cobb County Police said that they had reports of spottings throughout their community. None of them turned out to be fruitful until this moment now.
Cody Alcorn also had told us that this was didn't believe, his source had mentioned it was not a premeditated murder. Thus, the escape, which was so effective for him for so many hours, he was on the run. And, law enforcement had no idea. And the other curiosity about all of this is, and we've talked about this extensively, is about, everybody has an iPhone, a cell phone, and a camera affixed to either a doorbell or a doorknob or to a phone. And yet there was really no indication of where he was. After that sighting around 12:30 today, he was pretty much a figure that was not seen by anyone. There were really no tips.
All right, we want to get you back out to our Dawn White. She's live in Cobb County, just outside of that community. Dawn, what can you tell us as this is unfolding? We were just showing the first live images of the suspect being placed into an Atlanta Police cruiser.
Well, I'm actually inside of the community right now, inside of Waterford Place, and a source here tells me that it is here where that suspect was captured just about 20 minutes ago. And I'm here with Christy and Deborah, two residents. So you called 911 earlier today.
No, I did not call 911. I just had a hunch that, they were not catching him at all, and I just had a hunch that, we have a property here that we have a pool area with showers, and that they could get in there and hide, and I just thought that they might be hiding out until it got dark so they could escape. So I just had a hunch, and I saw the policeman come into our neighborhood, and so Deborah and I went and walked our dogs, and we went up to them and we just told them our hunch.
And obviously you were right. What do you think about the suspect? This happened down in Midtown Atlanta, him being found up here in Cobb County in the community you live in.
It's very scary, very unsettling.
It seems like a pretty peaceful, quiet community.
It is very much so.
So what did you see and hear as
earlier today? My corporate office is in Midtown, so I was getting calls from my corporate office. Hey, we're on lockdown. There's a shooting, and etc. And so I was very concerned for everybody there, and I wasn't there today, obviously. And so I went about my business, and then one of my coworkers called me and said, Deborah, they're in your neighborhood. I'm like, what? He's in my neighborhood? What are you talking about? So we get here and all of that, and then Christy called me and she's like, there's police officers up here. Maybe we should tell them my hunch. And I'm like, that's a good idea. So we walk up there with the dogs and we tell them, and all of us, he's like, thank you. And we start walking back, and then he starts running and get your dogs, get on the grass, get on the grass. And we were like, oh my God. And here they all come flying down, and right where Christy suspected they might be. Our heroine.
So kind of describe what the scene was like. I know there were about 30 police vehicles here earlier. What did you see? What did you hear?
Well, we had two here, and then when we stood here on this grass area, they just came here straight down, just shooting down there. Adrenaline rushing, of course, and we rushed back to my condo and went out on my balcony. Then my other neighbors, because we have wonderful neighbors here. This community is fantastic. This neighbor Daniela, just amazing. Oh, watch out for each other. So we were out on my balcony, and there they all were in my back door, lined up, and then we saw the canines and heard them, get down on the ground, and we were just relieved. So it was just great relief that they caught him and nobody else was hurt, thank God.
Well, thanks very much for sharing your story and for joining me today. So a very harrowing experience literally happening at home for these two women here. One who had a hunch that the suspect may be hiding in this area. It's very woody, very hilly. And we'll send it back to you.
All right, Dawn, thank you. You are looking live now overhead from Sky Tracker. This is Cobb County as they are escorting the suspect in connection with 5 shot, 1 dead, 3 critical to the Cobb County Jail at this hour.
Yeah, this has been an incredible last, 40 or so minutes as we have watched this unfold. You saw these images first on 11 Alive from our 11 Alive Sky Tracker of that suspect being walked to this Atlanta police cruiser that is now riding lights and sirens, we understand, toward Atlanta Police Headquarters. Now, we also understand that Atlanta Police and Cobb County Police are expected to hold a news conference, a joint news conference, and that could begin at any moment. We will, of course, get you to that as soon as it begins. Our Cody Alcorn is standing by there. But this has just been an incredible set of events. We understand from our reporters that this suspect was just wandering around this condominium community.
Well, we sort of saw in the arrest, as we saw Cobb County Police walking him to a vehicle to be transported to the jail. It's very docile, very
slow,
passive, not what you would expect given the magnitude of the crimes of which he is alleged to have committed.
Well, that's what we are also hearing from our Cody Alcorn. His source is telling him that it seemed as if the suspect was acting as if nothing had happened when this contact with law enforcement enforcement first began, that he was walking in that complex wearing the same clothing that we saw in those initial images released by Atlanta police following the shooting in Midtown, and still armed out there.
And we continue to watch this group of cruisers, of SUVs, making their way to the jail. Again, we have been expecting a news conference from downtown Atlanta. APD is going to be speaking with reporters about all of the events of this day now, the last 8.5 hours, which began on the 11th floor of that doctor's office and has now concluded with the arrest of the suspect, Dion Patterson, on his way to jail right now. You are looking from Sky Tracker right now, high above, as they make their way unimpeded toward the jail.
Yeah, that image live right there from our Sky Tracker. The one you were just seeing toward the left of your screen was from just a few moments ago, as Jeff was talking about that suspect being walked to that Atlanta police cruiser. As this situation, this update that the suspect is now in custody was just beginning to unfold. We understand this is the Waterford Place condominiums in Cobb County where he was taken into custody, maybe around 7:45 or so. We're told from people who live out there that police were racing into that community, and he was captured, we understand, without incident. Again, he is alive, taken in handcuffs. And right now, this is a live look from Atlanta Police Headquarters as we await for that news conference, that joint news conference with Atlanta Police and Cobb County Police to begin to hopefully get some answers that a lot of people have been asking since 12 this afternoon.
You know, we were talking a little bit about what he might have been doing for about 7 hours before he was apprehended, and how he could evade law enforcement to such a degree that he did. But you know what? I think Dawn White's live broadcast from that condominium parking lot really gives an overview of maybe how this all happened. A very heavily wooded area, and it's sort of layered.
Hilly?
It's hilly, and you have to go through a series of spirals to get in or out of that condo complex in terms of where the parking lot is. So, you know, given the amount of foliage, given the amount of winding roads and all of that, might have just been in that area most of the afternoon. If they captured him, as Cody Alcorn's sources have told him, where he was just sort of wandering around aimlessly. He was, you know, in the same clothes from earlier in the day, and he also had his weapon on him. So that may be an answer to that. That'll be one of the questions, certainly, that is asked tonight of Atlanta Police in the minutes ahead. Condominium complex, which is topography alone.
It certainly is. And, you know, we started this with police saying the shooting took place in Midtown around 12:08 this afternoon.
When I checked
Cobb
it out,
County
they said
police saying
thing was
around
gonna start in
12:30,
10 minutes.
this
My
suspect
apologies
was
about the
spotted
wait.
on a
I
GDOT
appreciate y'all
camera.
for
And
pulling
again, saying there
up.
had been
Hood Therapy,
no sightings,
Jess J,
no new information
Natasha Jen.
since that time. So
I
for that
appreciate
period
y'all,
of
man.
time,
Thank y'all so much for
is
pulling
how
up. I was trying to
long
get
this
it
person
in
has
real
been
quick.
out there with
And,
all manner
QZ,
of
my
law
fault.
enforcement
QZ,
searching for
appreciate
him
the
in
pull
our
up as
region.
well,
And when
man.
the
He was
search
the
began
first
in
one up
Cobb
in the
County,
building.
I
So
immediately
appreciate
thought about 5 buses of Forsyth County children that were in that
Hey,
area.
Lindor,
Earlier
how
today,
you
I
doing?
was,
It's good to
out
see you.
at
Appreciate
the
the pull up.
Battery.
We
I was
talking
out at
about
Braves Stadium
they
doing an
have
interview
literally
for a
captured
story
the
that we're gonna do with
Atlanta
Marquise Grissom, who the Atlanta
shooter
native
this
who
morning. It
played on the
happened this
1995
afternoon.
World Championship team,
Shooting
and
happened in
then headed over to
Midtown
Dale
11.
Murphy's restaurant there at the Battery, and
Not too far from
watching
the
these
gig. So, you know, I
events
just
unfold,
started
never
talking
thinking
about it for a
that
hot
this
second. But they
suspect
were
would make
supposed to
his
be
way toward
doing
Cobb County. And within about an hour, that was the case. And
they
you
were
know, there were
supposed to be
so
doing
many
the news
children that were
conference, so
in
we
this
are
area.
waiting. We are
on a
awaiting.
school bus
What's
tour from
Sugar
Forsyth
Mom in the
County.
building?
Dozens upon
Oh,
dozens upon
Shucky Duck
dozens
Quack
who might
Quack.
have been in harm's
What's going
way,
on,
and
Sugar? Appreciate
thank
the
goodness,
pull up.
that was
Like
not
I
an
said,
issue.
we was
But
just
just
checking
some
it
of
out,
the
but
elements, some of the
it
moving
seems like
parts
it's taking
that were in
forever, man.
Cobb
They want
County
to
this
play by
afternoon
play. Let's
as this
see.
began to
But
unfold.
man, let's
Just
give an
joining
update.
us,
This is
a
young
live
brother,
look on the
24
right of your
years
screen from our
old in
11
Atlanta.
Alive
Hey,
Sky
Queen, how you
Tracker.
doing as well?
This is the Atlanta Police
The
Cruiser
young
that
brother's
we believe is
24 years
carrying
old. He shot
24-year-old Dion
5
Patterson,
people.
who has now been taken into
One ended
custody,
up losing
accused
her
of
life,
these shootings in
unfortunately.
Midtown.
It was a
And
clinic
we know he is
downtown.
on
Well,
his
not a
way
clinic,
at this
but a
hour
little.
to Atlanta Police Headquarters.
It's not
On
like
the
a
left
technical
side
hospital,
of
but
your
I want to say
screen, a view from our
outpatient.
11 Live Sky Tracker just moments ago.
Outpatient care
Yes.
facility. What's going on, Braz? And
As Atlanta Police
from what
took
I
him
heard is that the
into
young
custody.
brother
Again, at this hour, we are waiting on
had
that
some
joint
type
news
of mental
conference still
breakdown from what they
from
saying, man. How they
Atlanta
captured him?
Police
They
and
said he
Cobb
was
County
just
Police.
walking
That's shot
around
you've
with the
seen
gun
earlier
and
with
still
the
the same
microphones on the
outfit.
podium.
I'm thinking he
Yet
was
to
on the
begin, we
mission
will of
because
course take you
he
there
was Coast
as soon
Guard. So
as it
I don't
happens.
know
But
the young brother probably
something
going
else
through
that we
some things,
understand
man.
after the shooting. Police
Well, I
say
appreciate
that
everybody for
initially they
pulling up,
supposedly
man. We got some
carjacking. We're
some
hearing from our reporters
celebrities.
that instead it
Anytime
may have been a
anybody
vehicle that was
comes
left
to my
running that
panel, I
was
feel
easily
honored because
accessible,
nobody
flagged
wants to
as
listen
suspect.
to a moron.
Exactly. We're seeing
But
images
I
of
thank
that
y'all for
vehicle out
coming
to
through as always. But we
that
trying to,
vehicle found in a
it's just
parking
so
garage
crazy,
off
man. It
Bridge
wasn't like I
Court
said, it
near the
wasn't
Battery,
too
near
far
the
from the
Windy Ridge
gig.
area. And again,
So,
we have been finding
I
him here
figured,
now.
like this
Again,
crazy,
not far
man.
from the
When I heard it
security at
initially,
the
I'm like,
Battery.
oh, I hope it ain't.
Here it
I
is
hope it
again
ain't one of
of
them.
where
I
this
hope brother
happened.
ain't been rattling.
All of
I ain't
this
trying to
happening
say it, but
in
without
a
saying it.
very
But
small, tight-knit area. And if you take a
yeah,
look at
that's
this map here,
crazy.
it shows you
He went up to
everything
Cobb.
where this
Love
happened.
morons.
And we
Oh,
started
thank you
to
so
talk
much.
because we are in the city of Atlanta, and then we moved to Cobb County. But on the right side of
Without
your screen
you,
there, you
there
see
would
where
be no
that
more.
shooting
No,
took place, where this
people don't
gun
know how to
began,
take
where
that
the
one.
vehicle
I
was
always say that,
taken.
but I
And
appreciate
then
y'all.
on the left side of your screen, we see where the camera spotted the car and where the suspect was eventually captured. So that gives you a little bit more of an overview of where all of the moving parts have been taking place in the metro Atlanta area here.
I'm just struck by an early afternoon that began so violently, ends so peacefully. And the images that we are witnessing here that you saw first on 11 Alive about 40 minutes ago.
Damn, man, I feel for his. He done ruined 6, 7 lives. And Pete, his mom was with him.
After 12 o'clock in
You gonna
Midtown
just
Atlanta on the 11th floor.
take down people, your mom in the car waiting for you.
We are
I hope she
grateful that
wasn't.
it has come
She
to
couldn't
this
have been
sort
in
of
the
resolution.
waiting room. They said it was like he entered her waiting room. So I guess he was asking for some type of
as
drugs.
a result of what we have
That's what I'm
already
saying.
seen.
You know, it's
So,
all speculation
that
at
is
this
some good
point. This
news.
is
Again,
fresh. So
we are awaiting that news conference. That
we're
is a
gonna listen
live
to the
look on
news
both sides
conference.
of
You
your
know what I'm
screen
saying?
of that Atlanta police cruiser that we believe is carrying the suspect, 24-year-old Dion
Sugar Bum,
Patterson.
stop it.
And then also
Hey, Sugar Bum, would you date a
inside
bus
Atlanta Police
driver?
headquarters as we expect that news conference, that joint news conference to begin.
Sugar Bum seemed like Ebony Williams. Carolyn Lowe, hey, what's going on? Appreciate the pull up.
Also, one of the curious aspects of this is we had been talking about how this
I need to
search
drop.
for
I need to
Patterson
drop.
would begin to shift as the sun set of what it would look like in Cobb County.
Never mind.
and
I ain't gonna even
tonight
say that.
As they continued to search for this suspect.
No, I don't think they did that to his mom.
For so many hours.
From what they were
But
saying,
what did
like
that look like? How
he had
would
been
it
dealing with
begin
some
to
issues
evolve
for a
at
little
night?
bit,
Complexities
and I guess his
of
mom took him to
searching
go and get some
during
help.
nighttime hours makes it even more problematic. So the good news is,
And
all
he
of this
kind of
came to
flipped
a
out. Why he
resolution
bring the
around 8
gun?
o'clock.
I hope that. Oh, I hope that ain't the case, because I wonder if she knew he's. What did he do? Yeah, something ain't. Hold on, you is right about that. I ain't think about that because he had the gun with him.
It was still daylight. It wasn't high noon, but it was still some natural light out there, and we have lost our video signal. We'll try to get that back as as our Alumni Sky Tracker continues to track that cruiser to Atlanta
But I
Police.
think it would have been very alarming for a lot of people going to bed tonight, knowing that this individual was still loose, potentially somewhere in the community.
Yeah.
In Cobb
You know what
County.
this? I don't know if
And,
I might be showing my age, but this kind of happened in not this particular incident, but an incident where a man shot in the courtroom. Terry Nichols. What was that? I gotta look that up. But it's here in Atlanta. But dude was in. Y'all remember that Terry Nichols when he killed the? I think it was 1 or 2 deputies, and then ended up with the white lady. She fixed them pancakes, and he turned himself in.
Name, and we have seen his mugshot, and we have seen the screen grabs.
That's crazy, yo. Another one. But this is totally different. Like, man, see, that's what I'm saying, man. And then I want to say it was another school shooting. It was a school shooting today, too.
And we know that he served in the U.S. Coast Guard. And
See, but I thought he was on some, you know what I'm saying? They said he served in the Coast Guard. I'm thinking he trying to make it happen. I figure he'd be out of town on a, you know what I'm saying?
In Henry County, and probation violation, a couple of them in Henry County in connection with.
They got to, we don't mean no way. They don't bring the brother's mugshot up, too.
This morning, she was not one of those those who was injured. She was not shot. She had talked to some national print reporters in the hours afterward. But for the most part, this has been a mysterious event. We do not
Come
know
on,
why,
man.
This violence was.
Sugar, you didn't answer the question. Would you date a bus driver or not?
Victims, why they were picked randomly.
Come on.
While they were all women.
What about a chef?
We have 5 shot, 3 critical condition, and their circumstances are certainly life.
Hey, Sugar, I heard you did you cam up, Sugar? I'm glad you here. Somebody, I heard it through the YouTube shit, you cammed up. Somebody put you in their title. Who was it? Who put you in their title said you cammed up? You cammed up and shit, though? What's going on with that? You camming up? Ain't telling nobody? You said you was gonna be the first. I was gonna be the first channel you cammed up on, an exclusive. Breaking your promises, Sugar.
Earlier when he briefed the media about the victims, whether or not they were employees, whether they were patients, whether they were a mixture of both, and that information was not given to us or not shared with us at that time. But when you think about the victims,
Right.
a 39-year-old woman killed, a 71-year-old, 56-year-old, 39-year-old, and 25-year-old, all shot and taken to Grady Hospital with some.
See, initially I'm like it's a mixed care facility, so of course it's gonna be man and woman there. It just happened to be 5 women, man. It's just gonna look so bad. So please don't run. Please, y'all don't run this with the manosphere. I know ain't nobody watching my channel, but please tell everybody this is not manosphere related. This dude I'm hoping not.
Can certainly alarm an entire metro area, shelter in place, and it can change
But
the
yeah, it was
trajectory of a city for a day.
they was locking shit down, man.
Certainly can, because there was a lot of fear and a lot of concern starting around noon today as people were seeking more information. People were sheltering in place.
A lot of businesses went home early.
Businesses, restaurants, daycares, children locked down in
Come
their
on, Sugar. This ain't
schools.
one of I think this young brother just, you know what I'm saying? They ain't building them strong no more, man. We ain't building them strong, man. Unfortunately, all these women talking about they only date bus driver owners. I'm sorry, yo. I shouldn't be bringing that up, but that is quite astonishing. Especially since she got money. Like, what you need money for if you got money? Don't you want love? Huh? What happened to love? I'm sorry, let's get back to this.
Certainly, all bets are off about, where to go from there. And the good
But I'm telling you, see, this is, maybe we should just stop making guns for like 3 or 4 years, because there's plenty. I don't know if you guys know this, but for the last maybe 10, 12 years, they have made enough guns every year that everybody in America can have 11 guns. 11. Every year. Since like 2010.
Into Atlanta Police Headquarters, where we believe he will be questioned further this evening before at some point being taken to the jail.
So one part of the story is over tonight. One part has reached its completion.
Come on, man. I got to get ready for work when they're going to have news conference.
Collectively, after seeing him now escorted into jail under police power right now.
And again, at this hour, 8:43 right now,
It's
we
definitely
are waiting.
It's definitely a possibility.
Moments away from a news conference
It's
held by
definitely a
Atlanta Police
possibility.
and Cobb County Police. Our Cody Alcorn is live for us there. You see no action from the podium just yet, but we will take you there as soon as that begins.
The correlation to Brian Nichols is.
I just want y'all to start loving each other, man.
And certainly
Just start loving each
lived
other.
in the horror of that day with the events.
Too much hate out here, guys. Come on.
Where a suspect is able
No,
to do what he did and then get
too much,
in the
man.
vehicle and be gone. And
Put a little love in your heart,
you
and the
wonder
world will be a better
where
place.
Nichols went. You wonder,
For you
what
and
happened.
me.
And certainly we
You
were
just
thinking
wait
about that
and see.
today,
That's
and
an
wasn't
old
that long
song.
ago
That's
in
an old song.
2005.
I ain't make that up.
And
That's
again,
an old
the day
song.
trader in 1999 who went in and shot people. He also escaped. Eventually took his life in a van, as I recall, outside of a gas station. But that was one of those as well. Where
See, I thought that's what
suspect is
the
able
brother
to
was gonna
flee
do, take his
and-
life,
and-
but
and be armed, and you simply do
Sheesh.
not know if that individual will exact violence again. So the good news is that part of the story has ended. The other stories certainly are trying to get these people that have been shot, these women, well, once again in Grady Hospital, that they survive the trauma of all of this. And the questions that
What's
we have
going
for law
on,
enforcement
False Flag?
are
Long
many
time no
about
see, bro. Appreciate the pull up. We
behind
are
this,
just watching.
how he did
We're
it, and
actually
how
waiting on the
he was
press
able to,
conference from the Atlanta
successfully
Police
evade
Department.
police capture for almost
A
8
young
hours.
man went
And
on a
as we
shooting
talked about
spree in
the days
Midtown
later,
Atlanta
Brian
about
we also had
12:30,
that Midtown shooting.
killing one,
Not too far from
injuring
where
the
this happened
four,
just last year,
unfortunately.
and that suspect captured at the Atlanta airport, taken into custody.
Yeah, it's
there.
been just
That,
crazy. It was
Behind you,
a chick who
yeah,
killed,
Colony Square.
yeah, in that
yeah, in
vicinity.
Colony
And
Square, that's
that
down
more
to
recent
Midtown Atlanta as
example of
well.
us seeing a
She went
very
to the
serious
airport.
situation here, someone able to go in, as you say,
That's what I'm
exact
saying,
violence,
man.
allegedly,
Like, yo,
and
I
then
like shooting
make
guns, but
way
it is too
to another
many of them.
location,
It's not
leaving
really too many guns. It's
thousands of
too
people
many weak ass
locked
people
down and
with the
in fear
guns,
for quite some
unfortunately.
time in the Midtown area of Atlanta.
Well, if you're just joining us, we are waiting for the Atlanta Police Department and their news conference. We are expecting that at any moment right now. But
They say that one more. I'm gonna try and hold out for 15 more minutes, y'all. I gotta, unfortunately get ready for work. Not unfortunately, but fortunately, unfortunately. Oh man, I burnt my arm so bad at work.
As you can see on the right
Maybe I
side
shouldn't
of
have
the
said that.
screen, that is the Cobb County Jail from
Trying to be
Skytracker
smooth.
right now.
Atlanta.
The left side.
Atlanta Police Headquarters.
Atlanta Police Headquarters on the right. No, Cobb County's on the right, is it not? I believe that's
No.
the jail on the right and APD's on the left.
That is Atlanta Police Headquarters on both sides of your
Okay.
screen. This is the live
Tell him, sister.
Skytracker view
Get him
of,
right. Get him right,
headquarters.
black woman.
And then what we just left is and what you see now is the podium inside headquarters. as
Tell
we,
that brother,
wait
that
on
well, not
those
that brother, ain't no
officials
brother.
to
Get that
begin
man in
this
check.
news
We have about
conference.
a minute 45 before the news conference is scheduled to begin.
Okay, we
are
got a
joined
minute
right now by
45.
city officials in downtown Atlanta. We will hear from the chief. I have seen in the last few minutes that Mayor Dickens also has mentioned this news conference. He has also mentioned the apprehension of the suspect, so we may see him.
I wonder why he went to Cobb, man. He must
And
know
this is,
somebody
again,
up there.
A look from our 11 Live Skytracker as that suspect was being escorted into
Ooh.
Atlanta Police Headquarters.
That almost sound like a
Being
nice salad right there,
transported all
Carol.
the way
Pepper,
from
watermelon.
Cobb County, where he was
Maybe
taken
not the
into
lettuce and the
custody,
cubes.
at the Waterford Place condos.
But
around
oh yeah,
7:45
that you
when
could
we
definitely
understand
do a
police
fruit
went
salad
racing
with
into
that one.
community.
I mean, you
The
might
suspect
so
captured
leave out the I
in
would
this
leave out the
incident. You see him
potatoes and the
there
lettuce,
walking
maybe. But
under his own power.
I
We
would do the
understand
pepper and
taken into custody,
watermelon and the
handcuffed out
cubes.
there, walking around that.
I'm sure that's cantaloupes, right?
Around
And
that
honeydew,
condominium
yeah.
complex just prior
Get a
to
little
him
basil,
being taken into
maybe.
custody. We understand.
Olive
he's right
oil,
here
some
wearing
salt.
the same attire that we are told he was wearing from those images that we
Did I say what?
saw released
Did
from
you
Atlanta
say
Police
you
earlier in the day
blank
after that
yourself?
shooting happened.
No, not
we
shit
are just
myself.
moments away from
No,
going
I didn't say
downtown
anything. No, I didn't
Atlanta.
say
Cody
anything
Alcorn
like
is our
that.
reporter who is in attendance.
I didn't
for
say
the news
anything like
conference,
that.
And now we are seeing Mayor Dickens. just
Yeah,
like
that
was
would be a
speculated
bomb
moment ago.
salad.
See,
Maybe a little
the police chief
basil
as well
and some
in
balsamic
attendance, and the news conference is
vinaigrette.
set to begin. Let's
You
take
could.
it right here,
I don't
right
know
now.
about the cantaloupe and the honeydew, but definitely. Oh, I'm
Thank
sorry.
the Atlanta Police Department for their response today.
I did.
I'd also
Yeah, I
like to
did
thank
say
our law
that,
enforcement
but I didn't want to
partners
say
from
that
across this region.
as I was thinking about
As you
it.
see, standing
What's going on,
behind
Big
me
J?
with me
Appreciate the
today
pull up, man.
Are the police
Banana
chief of
pull.
Cobb County,
Let me shut
as
up, y'all,
well
real
as the
quick, so
Fulton
y'all
County
can hear this.
Sheriff, as well as our APD police chief, as well as our fire rescue chief, Chief
We
Smith.
got all these celebrities in the building.
Also
Thank
our
y'all,
local
man. Appreciate the
college,
pull up. I'm
police
always
officers,
humble when people come and
also
pull
our
up
Atlanta
to the
Public
spot
Schools
because
Police Office,
I don't
as
think
well
people
as
be want to
neighboring
listen.
jurisdictions,
But
the
I
state of
appreciate
Georgia,
that, y'all.
and the federal government that has all chipped in on this support today. We also had strong coordination with our fire and rescue and emergency medical personnel. And last but not least, we must thank our E911 operators who spent the day fielding calls as we track this
Big J,
suspect.
for a minute, man, I thought
I
it
am
was we was
pleased
about to
to
have
share
a
with you
radicalized case, but
that thanks to
I
our
think brother just
strong
having a mental
partnership
breakdown.
with Cobb County Police Department, law enforcement have taken the suspect into custody. Thanks to the highly trained police officers across our region, we are able to bring this suspect into custody without further harm. He will be charged and stand trial for his crimes. Not only did law enforcement bringing this man into custody, they also kept our community safe during an enormously tense afternoon and evening. I want to thank our citizens for keeping calm, staying in place, and for providing critical information to law enforcement throughout the day. Now I'm going to turn it over to law enforcement to share an update, and I'll return to share a few additional remarks later. Now I'll turn it over
Okay,
to
what is
APD
that?
Police Chief Darren Shearbaum.
That's the problem, false
Thank you,
flag.
ma'am.
There's too many guns
Thank
out
the
here.
members of the
Charlotte,
press for being here
Gobo
this
Garden. I
evening.
gotta
All
look
played
into
an
that.
important role today as we kept citizens.
I'm
both
sorry,
in
I'm
Atlanta
reading the
and Cobb
chat too.
County
Let me
informed,
let y'all listen.
asked for their
No more
assistance
guns
and
though, man. We
resolve
need
the
to stop
apprehension
making
of
it for a
this very
minute.
dangerous perpetrator.
Just in my
Thank you
opinion.
for
That's just
returning
my
tonight
opinion.
to again update those of our various communities. The mayor spoke today of a capable, competent, and brave response by the first responder network that served not only the city but the
Okay,
region.
okay,
And I just
okay.
want the
Now I
men and
got
women
you.
of the Atlanta Police Department to know, those that are in our
Congrats,
911
Carol.
center, our first responding officers, our tactical teams, our investigators, how proud yet again I am of you of the work that you have done today on behalf of this city. And in the most dire of circumstances, you have shown what you do daily for the men and women that call this city home and those that visit here. If you
Yes.
look closely on the earliest views from the crime scene, you saw not only the Atlanta Police Department responding, you saw a
Some
network
Cornish hen.
of officers representing multiple agencies who have trained for this very
Wild
outcome.
boar.
Mr. Mayor, over and over.
Have you ever had that?
The day that this tragedy befall the city,
I
that
don't
we
know
would
about
be
the
ready.
boar.
And I stand here today to tell you that the first responder network was there today for their city. The sheriff of Fulton County, Sheriff Labatt, the Georgia State Patrol, the MARTA Police Department, Georgia Tech Police Department, Georgia State University, marshals, they were all on scene quickly, executing their active shooter protocol to stop.
Kelly
this
Ray was
situation.
good with you.
And then very
Appreciate
shortly,
the
we're joined
pull
by
up.
the GBI, the FBI, the Secret Service, as well as United States Marshal Service, as we sought to bring this person into custody. And that investigation soon showed us that this perpetrator had left the city and remained a threat elsewhere. And Sheriff Van Hooser, I just want you to know that we are a grateful city tonight for your partnership and the efforts of
No,
your
I don't think he was
law
MAGA,
enforcement
Kelly.
agency to take this individual into
I don't
custody.
think he was MAGA.
And then
I'm hoping
this
not.
morning we celebrated the bravery of
I
Atlanta
hope he
Fire
don't have
Rescue,
any political party.
not far from here as for their annual
Just a nut,
commemoration of Firefighters Day.
unfortunately.
And to see the paramedics and firefighters when we did not know where the shooter was, that could easily have still been in the building, around the corner, to see our firefighters dismount their trucks and Chief Smith go into that situation. But it wasn't the first time I've seen that, Chief, because we had seen that in training over and over again.
And
today,
congratulations, man. Kelly, I see you almost at
Very proud
10,000.
to see
Congratulations.
this partnership as we moved into that dangerous situation. And thank you. At this
I'm
time,
about
I
to
wanna
start
ask our
beefing
Deputy
with you
Chief,
so I
Colonel
can get some of you,
Investigation
know.
recap what
Like,
happened
I'm gonna
today,
take all your
investigation,
subscribers.
and
Now that's who's all right. No, let me.
how
That's
this department led to the capture of this perpetrator today.
that's who's subscriber we need to be taking shit. She got the 10,000. RBR got. No, let me stop.
What we do know, we know that shortly before noon, the subject.
You heard what part? Okay.
1110.
You know what? I kind of want to hit up the Greece, man, and Italy.
Medical Center inside the
You know what I
building.
mean? You close to that part, that kind of coast,
He
that
shot,
Mediterranean
our
coast,
first
man.
victim. And then the first 911 call came after that. He spent about maybe 2 minutes.
Yeah, man.
inside the,
Congratulations.
building,
Shit.
where he then exited on foot. And what we were
It's like,
able to
damn,
pick up
killed
on,
doing that.
the
Thizzle.
network system is that
That's
he went
thing.
to a Shell gas
And the
station,
black community,
where
when you
he
say
commandeered
thizzle.
a vehicle.
She's
That
doing her
car was-
thizzle.
Pickup truck was left running unattended. And he took
Oh,
that vehicle.
Germany.
We were
So
able
you
to, again use video.
Wiener Schnitzel and pork schnitzel and all that with the purple cabbage. Or no, it's purple cabbage, but is it coleslaw? I can't remember. And then that potato. It's a I made a. We used to have like a pork schnitzel dish, but I want to say it was like I know it was with potato. I think it was like purple
residents and other locations that he may go
purple
to.
cabbage.
So that
I'm
was
sorry,
as
y'all.
well. And then roughly around 12:30, we received an alert from the
Yeah, it is, man. Y'all don't deal
that
with
he
them
was in Cobb
GMOs like we do
County. So
over here.
that, again, we were on the phone immediately with Cobb to let them know that this individual.
All right, false
was
flag,
suffering
when I
from
come,
addiction.
We're
And
gonna
as,
have to hit
Chief
that
said,
coast,
we'll
man, the
let,
Greek coast.
Chief Van Hooser just kind of talk about
get some pasta and like that's what I think. You know what I mean? French. I'm not really a French food type of cat, but everything else, I think I can rock with. You know what I mean?
Local jurisdiction and that coordination took place.
Maybe not England. And, you know, they got fish and chips. It's okay. It's okay. But definitely like Italy.
Good evening. My name is Stuart Van Hooser. I'm the police chief in Cobb County, just north of Atlanta. And
oh man, enjoy yourself, man. Bring me some back. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They don't even allow GMOs in their food over there, man. They do not allow it. Next time, if you go to like a little grocery store, do me a favor. Take a picture of like a snack or something like that, because they don't even allow like GMOs in their snacks or nothing, man.
that have been affected by this.
I'm sorry, y'all. We gonna. I'm sorry.
Saw what was going on the news. We had heard through our networks of what was going on in Atlanta. When we discovered that the individual had last
Switzerland tomorrow.
been identified on a
Not too familiar with any Switzerland. This man, you need to start posting some pictures, man. When you come back, post some pictures. Then start posting your pictures.
But we began to look for the vehicle.
Then maybe I can try and make the meals. Ooh, that would be dope. Try and do that. That's a good idea. See, I be coming up with these ideas. I gotta start executing, y'all. Sorry. Let me shut up.
What I'm giving you guys is not planned, and I will.
You should, man. You really should. You know how you could. Why aren't you vlogging, bro?
I can tell you is this.
I would just, you know what I'm saying, do a vlog, and when I come back, start posting that shit.
Information comes in so quickly, and it is so confusing and so contradicting.
If you're still gonna be there, you got your phone. Might as well.
Trying to go 3 or 4 different places very quickly.
Hey, thanks, Sweeney. How you doing? Appreciate the pull
What
up.
was happening today? We had it was a fairly chaotic scene. We were being called to various locations in that area about what appeared to be legitimate sightings of this individual. And there was some fear, of course, in the citizens in that area, of course.
Yeah, that area, that's that Cobb area. That's rich area. Baseball, it's a nice little area up there.
And
So
I will say this. If you rewind the hand of time 4 years, we probably would not be where we are today.
you ain't lying, kid. And we love it too, man. When I be at work, I be like, why y'all eating this still? Stop, please. They be looking at me like, you better give me that American. You better give me that. Like, man, y'all just don't know.
Amazing way. Nobody went home today. Everybody stayed. We have a fairly new real-time crime center by a local company named Fusus. Flock is a fairly new company. It's a local company as well. We have partnered with both of those companies, and they have brought us some amazing tools, as has the other jurisdictions in the Atlanta area. Those tools are what really.
And you know, I don't even like ketchup, though. Let me get out y'all conversation.
Successful, and the people that were getting those clues from that technology made this happen. So, we had a lot of clues, enough clues from both our real-time crime center and Flock to have a pretty good instinct on the calls that were coming in. We had checked a building that we knew that he had gone into, and we had cleared that building, and we knew that he was not in that building. That building was unoccupied. It was being built. It was very close to Truist Park and the Battery, which of course was very concerning to us.
That's that money.
Many.
He was around a lot of money. That's why they make it. That's why this is such a big deal, because him being in Midtown, it's a whole lot of money flowing through Midtown. And then he goes, so he like where people work at, and then he went to where people play at. Like Cobb, that Cobb area where he got caught at. You know, that's where the baseball field is, and it's nice. They got restaurants and everything, apartment buildings, like literally around the baseball. So it's like, that area is just real nice and upcoming for you know, well-to-do folks.
Literally said, I think this is going to be him. And it was mostly instinct, but a lot of it did have to do with where this call was coming in and where this individual was supposed to be. That real-time operator communicated with the 911 operator that was in the command center with us, and we prioritized that call on the radio, and we had some officers, both undercover and
good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Kel. Good. Keep him cooking. Keep him in that kitchen, bare feet and locked up. No, let me stop.
And took him into custody without incident.
I'm just joking, Bo.
Some of the people and organizations to thank, but I can reiterate what Mayor Dickens and Chief Shearbaum said, and there's no reason to really go back into all of it. But
Yeah, the only
I can
reason
tell
why
you
they
that
do
there's
that, Carol,
not
because it
one
lasts longer on the
person
shelf and they can get kind of the most bang for their
a
buck
community
out of
that
it.
backs up the
That's
police.
literally the only
It allows the
reason.
police to take risks.
But
and
it's
try
so
to take
unhealthy for us.
violent people into custody. We have a very, very supportive community in Cobb County, a very supportive
Yeah, you know, we got to hit, you know, to the trap.
and very supportive leadership, and that's very, very important for us. We had great community members who were calling us and giving us information. We have a 911 center who has shared their data with us. We have a DOT that gave us information and access to cameras that we did not have previously, and those cameras proved extremely helpful today. That is where we got the precise location of the
Okay, what's
building.
going on, Big J?
So the amazing cooperation.
Yeah, I like it better, man. It is
Not
better.
really
You can do a
considered
lot
public
more stuff
safety agency
on the
like
fly. I mean, it's similar,
Constitution.
but especially if you're trying to go free for a little bit, you're just trying to get on your, it's definitely better for, it's more bang for you.
With the
But
helicopter, it's just you can't.
the only thing I don't like is you got to pay like I think the business fee to get that,
But hats off to everybody.
to get that
who's
second
involved in this
camera, and I
all
got to check on that.
foundation
When I
of the
first looked
technology
at it, that's what it
played.
said. They might have switched
And
it up
lastly, I'll
by
have
now.
to say that the communication between agencies in Metro Atlanta has probably never been this good, especially particularly from the Atlanta Police Department. Incredible outreach with Chief Shearbaum and the whole team here. And we were here just last week learning things from the Atlanta Police Department. So thank you to everyone who was involved in this. We're, of course,
Oh, the
honored
price
to have been a
good. The
part
price
of it.
good.
And
But I think
thank
it's the
you to everyone who's
$39 because you know how I got
involved.
the little ad camera feature. Like it's like
Thank you very much, Chief. Thank you, Chief. And thank you
yeah. How
again
much is
to
this?
all of our
But you know, it's a
partners here at
$39
law
one
enforcement
too.
for
And I
their
think that's the when I
cooperation and
looked the
professional
last time, the
work today.
$39 one
As you
was the
can
one where
see,
you got to
this
be where you
is
add the
a
camera.
group project. This took multiple jurisdictions working together. Highly trained officers who not only found this suspect, but brought him into
Definitely you
custody
get more bang
to
for your
stand
buck
trial.
with
So thanks to the professional and trained law
evil
enforcement
mucks.
in our region, this
Sometimes it
is
yeah, but when
an
I
instance where justice
it was working
is
out
the
some
case
kinks,
of
but
the
it seemed
day.
to get better.
But
It's
that
getting
doesn't
better,
change
you
the
know what I
fact
mean?
that one
And then
woman
I just
died,
peeped. They got a
and there
lot of
are
little
4
features
more
on
in
here,
the
man.
hospital, just a few blocks away from here, fighting for their lives. And I want to thank Grady Hospital, the care that they've given immediately to those 4 individuals. Those 4 women are now on the mend, and that's because of the outstanding work by our trauma center and those medical
Only
professionals
trauma
at
center in
Grady.
all the city.
So
Level
we
1
need to
trauma
talk about
centers.
the
We only
shooting
got
that
one in
happened
Atlanta.
today. This was a horrible act of gun violence. But equally horrifying is that we know that this is not unique in our country. In 2023 alone, there have been nearly 200 reported instances of mass shootings in America. We have taken extraordinary measures in Atlanta to bring down violent crime in this city. We've enhanced our policing. We've invested in non-policing activities that make our city safer. We've invested in the root causes of crime at the same time that we're cracking down on repeat offenders who commit violence in our community. Those measures have produced great results. Before today, we were down 26% in violent crimes across our city. And those are not just stats. Those are real people who are not going to be victims of violence. But we know there is more that needs to be done. But what more can we do as a city? What more can we do as a community, as a state, or as a nation? We have a national epidemic on gun violence in America, and we have a serious problem with how we are treating mental health in this nation. One thing we know is that it doesn't have to be this way. Other nations have challenges with mental health, but they don't seem to have nearly the level of gun violence that we do in America.
Because we make guns like popcorn around here.
We live in a state and in a nation where people have easy and wide access to firearms that are used to kill other fellow Americans. We need immediate action that meets the urgency of this crisis.
Ain't nothing gonna
We need
happen.
universal background checks. We need to close the gun purchase
It's too late.
loopholes.
Once
We
they
need
get the
better
gun
red
in their
flag
hand, it's
laws that
over.
allow judges to remove guns from people who pose risks.
And you ain't taking
We need
nobody's
to
gun
remove
nowadays.
to ensure that folks who shouldn't
Not
have
willingly.
guns can't get them. There's a lot of talk about Second Amendment rights. We need more actions.
Now it's starting to
about
seem
the rights of
scripted,
our
yeah. Oh,
citizens to
man.
go about their lives.
Oh,
able to
man. Come on,
To a
man.
doctor's office, to a supermarket, to a gas station, or to their school without the threat.
Folks get
of
run
being
up and
gunned down.
gunned up every day. Like I said, the only reason why.
To
Oh,
stop
okay.
these horrific
Because we're going
acts
to end it here in a
from
minute. I
happening
got to get
again
ready.
and again.
We're going to.
So you will be hearing more from me on this. But today, we are grateful
hold
for
on a
the
second.
women and men who brought this.
They might be taking
to a
questions, but
close.
we're going to hold on
The
one
team
second.
of people that back up the
You know, I don't know, man. This is just, it's so weird, man. Yeah, I appreciate guns and I respect them, but like I think we make too many for everybody. Like I know, in my opinion. Oh, they are taking questions. Sorry. We're gonna.
But events like this, particularly when there's lots of national media attention, cause people to think that crime in Atlanta is increasing. How do you address that sort of perceptual mismatch?
Yeah, thank you for that. For clearly stating that violent crime is down in Atlanta. Homicides are down 40-something%. Up until this very moment, I don't know what the stat is now after today, but violent crime is down in Atlanta. And so the perception may be, because of this mass shooting, that crime is all over the place. But the truth of the matter is it's down. And so reality is reality. The numbers show that it's down, but we still can't rest on that. We have to do policing activity.
You know what, Kelly? I'm gonna get right back into it. But me and the gentleman were talking at the job about crime and punishment. He said we need to go back to the Western days. I kind of understand what he was saying, because you know the Western days, especially if you were found guilty, you was getting hanged in the next 24 hours. They didn't have all these appeals and all these things. So I mean, you know, that kind of does play. If I kill somebody, they gonna kill me within 24 hours if they can prove that I did it. I think that's a factor, but we're gonna get back into it.
More police training, more police patrolling, but we also have to do non-policing activities like making sure people have, good jobs, making sure that individuals, our youth, have youth opportunities, after-school programs, summer employment, making sure that we invest in our young people, but also do anti-violence training, de-escalation training, helping people to resolve conflicts, and to get rid of, the gang leaders, illegal guns, as well as illegal drug sales. And so all of that is a part of our ongoing collaboration with the City of Atlanta, APD, as well as our federal partners, our state and local partners, Georgia State Patrol, as well as our Fulton County Sheriff, Cobb County, as well as our DA. So all of us are working together on those things to fight gangs, guns, and drugs, but also those things that are just related to making sure people are healthy and have opportunities.
Mayor Dick, just one quick question. I know that there's been members of your city's SWAT team that have been proactive and gone out to some of these businesses and helped train employees. But in light of the world we're living in now, is there any talk among yourself, city leaders, about possibly trying to form a partnership with the Atlanta business community and your police department to work on drills and things like that? Because obviously this is the world we're living in.
Yeah, we unfortunately, just like we have fire drills and tornado drills, active shooting drills are becoming a necessity for us to have professional training so that when police officers and fire.
Unfortunately, guys, man, this was a good live, man. We had some big stars come through. Kelly, we got our heart to build it down. I'm sorry, I got into the thing. What's going on? Oh, I appreciate the pull up. Maybe they should police more. Okay, we done. Okay. I'm sorry, y'all. Exactly. Yes. But this is such a dynamic. I'm gonna have to do a little bit more research on the topic. But yeah, I wondering what changed. I'm sure with some laws and some rights that the people that's very interesting. Like hang 'em high, as they used to say. But man, I thank y'all for coming. Unfortunately, I gotta get ready for work because that 6 in the morning comes so early. I hate it. But thank y'all so much for pulling up to the Moron channel. Like, subscribe, and share. And please, man, if you're watching a repeat, like, subscribe, and share. And just thank y'all for coming. Y'all have a great night. Y'all be safe out here, all right? And check on your folks. Not just stay physical, but they mental too. Make sure they all right. Tell somebody you love them. Give somebody some flowers today. I even did that today to an adversary. It was his birthday today. I gave him a hot $1. You know, it was a gift that, you know what I'm saying? And I ain't ill out. So, you know, we got to show a little love sometimes. We can't just all be about hate and anger and divisiveness. You know what I'm saying? And if we are all about that, we should just keep it on the internet and not bring it into reality. You know what I mean? It's one or the other. Okay, guys? But thank y'all for pulling up. Y'all have a safe one. Peace.